We're going to start by applying numbing cream to a freshly cleansed skin. We do this because while the numbing cream is working, we can then go ahead and set up the treatment area. So we'll leave this on for about 10 to 15 minutes prior to cleansing it all off. Once it's cleansed, making sure there's nothing left on the skin, I always like to go in and prepare the depths and speeds for each area that I would like to treat today and note down any concern areas that I would like to treat as well, such as any moles that I need to avoid or any post-breakout pigmentation that I'd like to treat. Once I've popped my gloves on, I go ahead and usually give it another spritz with some alcohol. I like to keep my hands and the area I'm working with as clean as possible. I then will go in with an alcohol pad and just wipe over the skin gently, just to make sure that everything is completely removed and my skin is nice and ready for treatment as well. Once I've finished this final prep, I now will prepare my cartridge and making sure that it is securely on top of the pen, removing the safety cap, and I like to spritz it with alcohol again, just to be on the safe side. I then go ahead and apply my Glide and Recovery Serum to a already cleaned bowl. I do just find this helps me to apply it throughout the treatment a bit easier. And we now make sure that we're setting the correct depth for the area that we're treating, as well as the speed that we would like to treat it as. There are a couple of different techniques you can use when microneedling. One is the crosshatch technique, which is the most common. This is where you would use a glide like I'm doing now, and you would then go vertically, horizontally, and diagonally across the skin. Alternatively, you can use a stamping motion if you would prefer not to use a glide, just making sure to stamp and not drag the pen across the skin. As you can see now, I've started the treatment. I would definitely advise, especially if you are new to needling, to go slow. There is definitely no need to go fast, and making sure that you're also not applying too much pressure to the area as well. The pen is doing most of the work for you, so very much you just need to glide it over the area that you're working with. At this point, it's really about getting your technique down. And as you progress, as you get more and more experienced, you'll note that this will speed up this process slightly. Once I have completed the forehead area, I'll move on to the eye area, just adjusting the depth and speed. The eye area is quite sensitive, so I always recommend making sure that you are pulling down, keeping that skin nice and tight, and only working over the orbital bone. So we never want to go directly underneath the eye area at all, always making sure that we are working around the orbital bone just to ensure that we are treating safely and we don't injure our eye area at all. Once I'm done with the eye area, I like to move on to the nose. Personally, I prefer to do my first pass as the stamping technique. Now, I do still apply the glide. I still enjoy making sure that my skin is getting as much hydration as possible, which is why I do this. But if you are using the stamping technique, there is no need for a glide. So with that first pass, particularly around the nose, I feel like this is just easier, making sure to get every area. We tend to target the pores quite a bit on the nose, so I feel like this just helps. I then make sure to keep that skin nice and taut, and with the second and third pass, I will do the regular crosshatch technique. Moving on to the cheek area now. This area is nice and large, so you can work in larger sections. You are also welcome to, if you're new to microneedling, to work in smaller sections as well, and making sure that you are, of course, adjusting the depth and speed of the needles for your particular concerns. From the cheek area, I then work into the upper lip. Nice quick area, just making sure not to go over the actual lips. This is a very vascular area and it's not safe to microneedle over it. You can cause a lot of damage and bruising. I then work on the jawline and the chin, just making sure to work in controlled strokes. You'll notice here that for the vertical pass, I do the full area, and then for the horizontal pass, I will actually do smaller sections. So completely fine for you to find your groove, work in the sections that you're comfortable with, depending on the areas. Once I finish up with the chin and jawline, I work underneath the chin as well as down the neck. And just to finish off the treatment on the neck, I do like to do a stamping technique on some of the deeper lines. Once I finish the treatment, I use any remaining serum and just pat that onto my skin, making sure to use the Glide and Recovery Serum for the first 24 to 48 hours post-treatment. Let me know if you've got any questions or if there's anything more you'd like to see, and good luck!